How's it going? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome to Sunrider Captain's Return. Okay, so this is a really interesting one. If you haven't been following the channel for like its entire lifespan, this is going to seem really random because this is the fourth game in a series, but it's a series that I played all the way through. It was one of the first visual novels I picked up for a very clear reason. It was free. The first two chapters, the first two parts of this game are actually combined into one called like Sunrider Massacre of Aurelius. It's like the first game, the initial one they released, and then the second game kind of bolted together, and it's free on Steam still. You can then buy the third game and now the fourth game. This came out, oh gosh, it was a few years ago now. It might have been pre-COVID, but this is, I guess, the final part. This is the end of the series, or at least the conclusion of it. I'll save this for it. It's an interesting game. If you've never heard it before, it is a combination game where it has visual novel aspects where it tells its story, interacts with the characters, has CGs, just like a normal visual novel would. But it also has distinct gameplay. It's a strategy game, so you'll go into battles where you have mechs and you have like usually a home-based starship, and you go operate the battlefield and you have to defeat the enemy without losing yourself. In fact, if I remember correctly, in the game, if characters died in like the combat, they actually died. Like, you could game over from a death of a main character, or you could lose a character for the rest of the game. Like, canonically, they could die. I think, however, we're going to be a bit limited here. So I did a little digging, and there technically is a flag marker that goes for, okay, so you beat the previous games, it'll remember some stuff and pipe it through into this game. However, the problem was that they didn't cloud save, like, format their original games. So all my saves from so long ago, they died with the computer that they were on. I had a critical failure on that computer. It was unrecoverable. And so that means that data's lost. If I want to try and have all those flags, I'd have to literally replay the third game from start to basically, I think, chapter 5 minimum, but in order to really maintain everything, I'll have to go through. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to hit new game and it'll ask me questions about what I did in previous titles. Otherwise, we're just going to go with whatever the default is, unfortunately. I get the feeling it should be okay, but it's just unfortunate that a game that was, so structured and built off of the choices that you would make, because there were special items that you could or couldn't use. There were characters that could like literally live or die permanently. There were just choices that you made that seemed to have impact on the story and the outcome that might now be lost to the sands of time, and I might just get a default story because of it, and that just feels kind of sad. But anyway, I'm still pretty excited. I don't know how many people here are going to even be interested in this, but frankly, if you've never seen this series, absolutely watch this. See if it's something you like. If you like what you see in like a first little bit, don't spoil yourself too much. Just go to play the original game. It's free. Just go download it. It's fantastic. It's really interesting to see how it's all going to play out, and I'm curious to see what they do with the story, because I guess basically the way that the first game, like the last game, ended was traumatic, to say the least. As in, I don't even want to say it too much, because I'll talk about the spoilers and how I feel about it afterwards, just in case you're watching this and you just never played the games. I'm not gonna drop all the spoilers again, though. If you like sci-fi, if you like visual novels, if you like choice-based, if you like strategy, this game really is something you'll probably want to check out, and it's free. Go try it. I'll talk about kind of my feelings about the last game at the end of this episode, just kind of like where we tie into it, and plus there's gonna be stuff to remind us. So I've been faffing around a bit much. Let's say we get started, shall we? New game. All right, let's see how this plays out. Presented by Love and Space. Man, I haven't seen any of their stuff in a while. There's a couple other games that they've done that I haven't played yet, so we might come back to them sometime. Directed by Sam Yang. It's so crazy to me to feel like, because like this again, I grabbed it first thing on the channel, and it was brilliant. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Yeah, it's a review of the ending.
セラ宇宙軍の最後の強襲空母サンライダーケイト・シールズ艦長だ。俺たちは銀河を渡り仲間を集め故郷を解放するためにいろいろ頑張ってきた。圧倒的に不利な状況の中で俺たちはあがき 悲しみや喜びを分かち合い。
Yeah, it was an amazing story.
そして今、俺たちは故郷に帰ってきた。だから覚えていてほしいんだ。俺たちは今日セラを見捨てなかったことを、サンライダーが最後まで戦ったことを。俺たちは逃げなかった。闇に落ちるまで愛しい誰かのためにここで奮闘した。俺たちは命が燃え尽きるまで唯一の故郷を守り抜いた。
Man, the art, that quality is so good. That was his sister. She was on the planet at the beginning of the games. All right, the sea shields. How's this gonna play out, huh?
Chigara.
Oh yeah. No, it's Lena.
違う。
パン屋を
あなたは人間。
家族団長勝手屋さん
Interesting.
出て行け。貴様の運はまだ尽きていないようだ、シールズ。どうせ死ぬんだからその日まで生きろ。
Interesting. Sunrider's gone. Oh, that makes me feel kind of sick. Can you imagine? Because of the spin, that makes it makes this like title screen feel like it's trying to twist because of the spinning starscape there. All right, so big reminder there. Sunrider ship, which was the coolest part of the freaking games, it's gone. Absolutely just blown to bits by the backstab we never saw coming. Well, I mean, any good backstab you wouldn't see coming, but 6 years later, fetch. Get to the packed checkpoint. Are we actually supposed to like walk around? Oh no, we can just click on stuff. Okay. Another day at work. Better get through the security checkpoint. Glory to the People's Alliance. Your name and occupation. Kato Shields, minor. Shields, huh? Like the space captain who died a few years back? There's still a warrant out for that guy, even though he's probably long dead. There's another two-bit criminal who got exactly what he deserved. Come on, raise your head so I can get a look at you. You got me, I'm your man. Ha, heard about you. You're that drunk who always goes rambling about being a war hero, aren't you? That's not the son of a bee this hellhole who's not determined to, demented or hooked on spices. Get your go scan your worker ID and stop wasting my time. I love that they're painting this idea that like, he's not even trying to hide it. It's just so ridiculous that he would be this like wanted person who's probably died a long time ago that they're just like, nah, it can't be you. Be my guest. Get out of here. Are you gonna introduce me to a squad of women under your command, Captain? It's just the same as usual. What passes as local security here so lax that I don't even have to lie about my identity. Or is it really that hard to believe I'm Kato Shields? Another day of work begins. Better get to the mining rig. God, this is so interesting. This is definitely different than what we do. So across the bridge, left click on the right side of the map. Like, this is definitely a different way of playing the game. I've never, this wasn't in the first 3 games. The first game was almost exclusively, just, you did the combat in space and then you experienced the story. I think you got to choose there. You got to have, like, a kind of romantic rendezvous with like 1 or 2 characters. And it wasn't even so much romantic as mostly like a fan service thing. This time, like in game 3, you pursued, like, you found a story, but they kind of had a canonized romance path, but it ends tragically. And now in this game, I'm guessing we'll get choices again, but it's interesting just to see how different this already is. Look at the excavators. It's only a matter of time until the mining unions extracted all the gray iron from here. Then they'll just lift off and relocate to another deposit until they strip the site clean too. More ore to be found to fund both sides of the war. We're stripping every entire world's dry of all natural resources to build ships, riders, munitions, and throw them against each other in an endless tug-of-war of destruction. You see, we've lost our minds, or war's big business. Honestly, it's like, we kind of lost our minds, but there's people who are benefiting from it if they can keep it going. Anyways, better get to work. Okay, report to work, so I'm probably those guys. Could Queen Asaga de Revuia seek the hand of the Venzazar Fontana? What a year it's been for Venizar Fontana. With his countless military victories against the Solar Alliance, Pact's military, economic, and political supremacy has been on full display. Could the young and beautiful Queen of Ryuvia become his bride? What a match of heiress of the vestigial Holy Empire would be for our dear leader. Alright, so Venizar Fontana is like, he kind of was the inheritor of the Pact, which was the military that tried to take over the stars with the ancient technology. The Solar Alliance was the old empire that fell apart, but their royalty had basically superpowers. They had magic, but their bloodlines were destroyed over time. And what's interesting here is Asaga. She was actually one of our crew. We didn't realize at the time. So we had Sola, who was a princess of the Holy Empire, so she had all that magic power, but she was basically cryogenically sealed for thousands of years when we found her. And then we found out Asaga, she had an awakening where she had that old bloodline through her, even though she was like a runaway kind of royal, but she didn't even know she was royal. She just was part of a powerful family, and she ran away from that life. It turned out she has that power and technically is the direct authority. And so she apparently took up that mantle. I believe that's what we chose her to do in our game anyway, so that's fine. But it sounds like she's still at work, which is interesting. Ever since Pact took over Tidaria, all the news stations have been spewing nothing but propaganda. I think Tidaria is the capital of the old Holy Empire capital. There's no way Asaga could ever be interested in that Fontana. Asaga, hope she's still doing alright out there. With the arrival of the Pact Liberators, the people of Onges flooded the streets in celebration. For 6 long years, they suffered under the brutal oppression of the Solar Alliance. Solar Alliance was the green ships that we were working with. They were our allies. The People's News Network has obtained exclusive audio of Alliance war criminal Harold Gray, where he threatens the wanton murder of millions of innocents. Listen to it now. If I remember Harold Gray, he was a general. I'll drop enough nukes on Ongress to make it glow brighter than the sun for the next millennia. Sit down, boy, let me show you war. Our dear leader, Venecia Fontana, addressed the liberated people of Onges. From today onward, Pact will ensure the people of Onges can choose their own path. Can't believe this nonsense. It's basically the reverse. Fontana wanted to destroy he held them hostage. He basically used the citizens as a bargaining chip to try and like force us to surrender. And I think that the general saying that line was him refusing to give in to the basically the demands of a terrorist. We ended up liberating that place and saving the refugees. So many people died when we liberated Onges from Pact, and now it's fallen back into Pact's hands. Was there any point in fighting at all? Or is Onges just destined to ping pong from one imperial power to the next? I thought I was working for the Solar Alliance to free Onges. Was everything in vain? Yeesh, this is rough. Okay, so it's the same. So each one is a different list. All right, moving on. Here comes our captain. Greetings, savior of the galaxy. Hey, what's the matter, Shields? Have some trouble with the Vanguard cannon lately? Oh, the Vanguard cannon was the best. Basically, the Sunrider was like a frigate ship, so it wasn't like a super massive ship, but it was basically a giant space cannon, like for the whole length of the ship. And like you use that in battle. I remember the first two games, you get to the point where you could just fire the cannon like all the time, and it was brilliant. The other thing that was actually really, really handy, in the first two games, you could unlock different abilities by, you do different side quests and you would invest in the ship and you would get yourself more abilities. And the best investment was the short range warp jump, because in the first two games, you could use it pretty much unlimitedly because it had very little energy cost and you could just basically appear where you wanted on the battlefield. And so I invested in the short range powerful munitions and the warp jumper, and I would just jump right into the middle of enemy ships and just blast them to pieces. It was very effective. It was actually so effective that in the third game, they limited the warp jump to once per battle. Anyway, yep. Hey, am I just not enough of a little prototype for you? Oh, that's a low freaking blow. All right, little trashy lads, we're on the clock now. The lady upstairs is already on our asses thanks to that incident 4 days ago. We can't afford to lose another pair of hands right now. Shields, you with us? Yeah. And better be sober. All right, lads, let's get to work. Oh, great. Breaking news. The Solar Alliance surrenders. Armistice has been declared. What? This just in. The Solar Congress has voted to withdraw from the Neutral Rim territories and cease all hostilities against Pact. After 6 years of bloody conflict, the Neutral Rim War is over. Pact has prevailed over the Solaris Imperialists and brought peace and equality to the Neutral Rim. We've just received news that our dear leader, Veneziar Fontana, is to address the people within minutes. Impossible. The war's over? But, no, it's impossible. All this time I was waiting, but it was all pointless. Must be a lie, just Pact propaganda. It's not possible. What were you waiting for, Shields? Really? The war's over? Pact won? Oh, it doesn't mean anything for the likes of us. Come on, lads, let's get to work. Hey, Shields, put yourself together. Lead the mind to rendezvous with Sola. Oh, so we're here with Sola. Interesting. I think I remember that. I think because like we all like went our different ways. I think we crashed here on the same planet. Come on, Shields, war's over. Can't you drop the act already? Peace has come to the Neutral Rim. All hail Veneziar Fontana. I hated Fontana. He sucked so bad. Cheers to the Pact of the Crimson Fleet. Trial time's finished. Get out of here, Shields. Just holding our pickaxe. Yeah, just going full Minecraft here. Oh, that's ominous. Oh, there she is. Look at her. Sola. Yep, there she is. The war's over. The cause has been lost. The Sunrider will not be reborn. It was a fool's errand from the very beginning. Mission is over. It's failed. She's the stoic type. Go back home. It's the only place for you now. Leave me. There's nothing more I can do. Nothing more any of us can do. We lost, Sola. We are defeated. Sola, I hope you're happy at Ryuvia Prime. Okay, Ryuvia Prime was the capital of the old empire. That's right. She may not have been home, you remember, but you belong there, not here on this forsaken rock. Watch Fontana's address. Oh, there he is, the smug son of a bee. Look at this room too. How depressing is this? What is this button anyway? Okay, so this is like the history. All right, story so far. Captain Kato Shields, forward captain of the assault carrier Sunrider. Hail from the neutral rim's world of Sarah, which was brutally conquered by the Pact 7 years ago. Since then, you fought one ship against a war against the Pact and gathered allies across the galaxy to liberate your home world. By the way, the brutal assault was enemy fleet dropped in, had a massive super carrier that had also a really big cannon, kind of like the Sunriders did, but on like a bigger scale. It appeared in the system and fired the cannon at the capital city of Sarah, where our family lived, including our sister, and basically nuked it from orbit instantly. We ran away because we knew we couldn't fight. Like, we were the only like real military vessel for the entire planet, and against a fleet, like we couldn't do anything. And so then the whole game became like the quest to try and retake our homeland. Your heroic deeds appeared to have paid off, and with the aid of the Solar Alliance, you liberated Sarah from the Pact fleet. Unfortunately, your girlfriend, Chigara Asaga, turned out to be a prototype sleeper agent, who betrayed you at the celebration ceremony to assassinate Admiral Gray of the Solar Alliance. This event, called the Liberation Day Massacre, only escalated the war between the Solar Alliance and Pact, led to the destruction of the Sunrider. Now assumed dead, you live in exile, on a dusty mining world of Tidaria, a shell of your former self. Alright, people... Okay. The Admiral of the Solar Alliance combined fleet, the architect of the Neutral Rim War, for better or for worse, he liberated the Neutral Rim from Pact and established the Solar Alliance's brand of democracy via military occupation. He definitely wasn't the greatest guy, but he knew enough to be right. He was assassinated by Chigara Asada and the Liberation Day Massacre, dealing a crippling blow to the Solar Alliance's military might. Alright, prototypes, and Alice Asada. A genetically modified race of superhumans who were created by a secretive order of scientists on the remote world of Diode. The Diodians sought to create a new race who could lead humanity to a new age of scientific achievement. The prototype and the Alpha were born from their research, two superhumans both with intellectual capabilities far beyond their own. However, the prototype murdered the scientists and became a compact rebel known as Alice Ashada. She was corrupted by the bloodshed of the Compact Revolution and eventually became a nihilist who took control of Pact with the sole aim of destroying all humanity. Chigara Ashada, a prototype sleeper agent created by the Alpha to spy on the Princess Asaga de Ryuvia. She became your girlfriend during the events of the Neutral Rim War. However, when you liberated Sarah from Pact, her sleeper agent protocol activated. She assassinated Admiral Gray, fulfilling Alice's insane plan to spark an intergalactic war between Pact and the Solar Alliance. However, it seemed that she now fights against Alice in the mind stream, which, okay, prototypes, they basically were clones of each other. And they part of the reason why they're super smart is that a lot of them live in like a think tank, where basically it's all these minds working together in concert to like think in the background, and they're connected like in a psychic way. And Chigara was one of them, but a sleeper agent. And then the Alpha, she I guess Alice was the name she went with. She was the actual like face of them, and she basically took over Pact. She was in charge of the Pact Alliance for a long time. She fights against Alice in the mind stream and was responsible for convincing prototype Lynn to save you from the doomed Sunrider. Okay, so Alpha was in charge of all of them. Lynn was the face that was in charge of Pact, but she was the version of it, and Lynn was the one that almost killed us on the Sunrider because she was our prisoner. Sola. One of the former members of the Sunrider's Rider Wing, Sola is an ancient Ryuvian who was mysteriously transported thousands of years into the future to our era. She's the illegitimate daughter of the ancient Emperor Raven and was impressed into service of a civil war against the Emperor's half-brother, Crow Harbor. She was baptized Char Sola de Ruvia and became a hero of the Ryuvians. In her final battle with Crow Harbor, she activated a Ryuvian flagship, the Sharlock's Final Tear, which would destroy Crow Harbor's ship at the cost of her own life. However, upon its activation, she found herself transported thousands of years into the future to a strange and unfamiliar world. Seeking to defend Ryuvia against Pact, she joined your crew, renewing her oath to Queen Asaga. Following the Sunrider's destruction, she had followed you to Tidaria, has served you as a aloof guardian for the past 6 years. So she's the one who traveled through time. She also has some of that ability, like that tears, like. They have like the Empire had technology borderline on magic, not just like, oh, technology was sufficient, like advancement looks like magic. No, literally, like they use their blood to interact with like the most powerful of their technology. It's locked into their bloodline to make it so that you know, rebellions were very unlikely because the most powerful weapons were sealed within the royal family that was supposed to always be in charge. It's kind of an interesting way to hold on to power. Venisar Fontana, the current leader of Pact and your sworn enemy. He long suspected that Alice Ashada no longer believed in Arcadius' vision for the egalitarian society and became the leader of the peace faction within Pact, who sought to negotiate the end of the war at the Solar Alliance. During the Liberation Day Massacre, he killed Chigara Ashada, believing her to be a servant of Alice and the prototypes. Following that, he was ensnared in a war against the Alliance, which he did not want, but which he dominated. He is now the ruler of the Neutral Rim and believes he can restore peace and fairness to humanity. However, he finds himself becoming more and more of a tyrant to preserve order in the galaxy torn apart by war. So yeah, I didn't like him, and he sucked what he did to Chigara. Kind of made sense, but it also sucked. But yeah, he was like the best thing that Pact had, because Pact was before that was just like maniacally evil. He at least had some ambiguity to him, but I imagine that's changed.
ソラリス連邦は敗北した。そしてセラ、オンゲス、バロノをはじめとする中立辺境の無数の惑星では、今、赤き旗が舞っている。何も不思議なことではない。偉大なるベニサ・アルカディウスが、我々民を新帝国の残酷な支配から解放してくださった時からすでに、この日が来ることは変えられぬ運命だったのだ。飽食の時代になっても、なぜ民衆の腹は満たされぬ。上流階級は科学技術の発展がもたらした想像を絶するほどの力を独占し、それを使い我々民の命の水を奪った。綺麗な空気を、大地を、人間が生存するための自然環境を破壊し尽くしたのだ。
So you can kind of see he's got very like for the people, like you know, like workers rise up type feels to him. Definitely on purpose. And the Alliance was very capitalistic. That was kind of his counters to that. Basically, it's a lot of the same struggles that we see in arguments philosophically here now, but taken to extremes, because as like humanity's grew across the stars, so did the extremes. So yeah, I mean, the thing is like that he's not entirely wrong. He wants to improve life for the common people and take away the just like compounding, untouchable heights of the super wealthy that basically just controlled the empire from the shadows as an oligarchy.
連邦の罪をパクトが正そう。我は宣言する。中立辺境のすべての惑星に自由かつ公正な投票により民衆連盟に参加するか否かを決める権利を、選択の自由を与えよう。
I wonder if he will though. Like he says that, but a lot of people said that before and it didn't actually work that way.
ソラリス連邦の腐りきった政権を選ぶか、それともパクトが築く自由、平和、平等な世界を選ぶか。すべては民。そう、あなた次第だ。パクトは人々の力を信じる。その力。
Oh, I clicked it early, but still, that's such a cool fade out. That was so, oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. Can I like, hang on, I need to look at the buttons. How do I do it? I wanted to like drop the text box. I don't know if I can, so. All right. Pact murdered millions on Sarah. We did nothing to provoke them, but they vaporized Sarah City without even, they murdered. It's all trickery. Honeyed words uttered by a tyrant bent on controlling us, controlling everyone. Now, he's sounding like a crazy person, because the thing is, like, that decision wasn't his. He's inherited that horrific, like, past, but he also is glossing over it, too. How could anyone believe this after all the Pact's done? Someone's at the door. Who's there? Oh, I don't know if I want to. Oh. Hello. Fetch me! She's not doing good. Okay, again, I want to like, how do I do that? Yeah, so I guess I can't. I'll just have to do the best I can here. So, Sola, why are you like dying? Sola, what happened? Hang on, I got a med kit. It's not too deep here. Who did this to you?
Assassinドローン、突然現れて。
Not good. Pact. Was it Fontana? It was Fontana, wasn't it? He's gonna tie up all the loose ends.
いや、パクトのじゃない。
Then who the heck was it? Then who? The Alliance? Who else wants us dead?
究極の悪。僕の時系列からここ
Crow.
まで追ってきた。
They hinted at that at the end of the last game when you like the last game was fun because you had the canon story, but then after you beat it, you got to do a wibbly wobbly timey wimey rewind where you got to kind of like choose your own adventure ending with like the different characters. Like you could get into a relationship with each one and have an alternate ending to the story. That were just these hypotheticals, but when you finished all of that, it gave you this hint that Crow, the person she's like tried her best to kill, ended up appearing in this timeline.
闇の化身、死と破壊をもたらすもの。クラウハーバー。
Crow Harbor? You mean your uncle from the ancient Revia?
追ってきたんだ。今すぐここから逃げないと。
What? How's that possible? You told me he lived 2,000 years ago.
僕も知らない。とにかく急がないと。
Frankly, I feel like the answer is pretty obvious. Whatever let you travel into the future, let him come through too. The crystal tear you did that was supposed to obliterate him, it just sent him into the future. I mean, it technically obliterated him from your past, but it didn't solve the problem. Just delayed it. This is unbelievable. Sola would never lie to me. Then perhaps the mission's not yet over. Stay close. I'll protect you, Sola. Get the gun!
セラフィン号は近くにあるはず。脱出するにはそれしかない。
Seraphim is her rider, her mech. Let's go. Okay. Alright, leave the cabin and reach the Seraphim. Oh, jeez. Are you serious? Oh no, that's really bad. Oh, what? It's a trap!
なんか黒金。今の時代の武器では。
Come on. Jeez, look at those things. Got anything capable of stopping those things?
こんなこともあろうかと、セラフィンの装甲破片を使って弾丸を作ったんだ。でも、2つしかない。
Great. It's no good, because I just saw 3 of them back there.
なんとかする。僕をあの高台に下ろしてから、
That's
ドロ
not
ーンたち
happening.
を谷間に誘導して。
You are not doing that. Alright.
これでいい。敵ドローンの誘導を願い。
You better not try and sacrifice yourself, Sola. You're the kind of person to try. Hey, over here! I'm your target! Oh, jeez. Oh, is she able to get, like... Yeah, she lined them up in a row.
消滅。
Beautiful. Oh, remind me never to doubt a Ruby and Char ever again. Those definitely don't belong to Pact. I've never seen anything like them.
クラウハーバーが送ってきた資格。
Still, I can't believe the drones of that size took down a Seraphim. Ancient Rubian or not, to tear the Seraphim apart like that, it takes something much bigger. Oh, shoot. Well, let's go. Oh, we're saved. Something else came. That's horrifying, though. Fetch me. What is that? What?
アイダリアの調査隊だ。武器を捨てろ。
Yep, we're here. It's really the truth. The ancient Rivian warlords traveled from the past to take over the galaxy. Oh, sure. We're gonna totally believe you there, buddy. Listen here, buddy. How many times have I been through this already? You've got to believe me here. The fate of the galaxy is at stake. I know you and your lady friend are involved in some shady business. Why don't you just come clean and get this over with? Level with me here, pal. What's a smuggling dispute? Drug deal gone wrong? Pirates? No, I'm Kaido Shields, captain of the Saren assault carrier Sunrider. My friend Sola, she's Ryuvian Char, and we've got to alert the authorities about the ancient Ryuvians. Basically, be like walking up to your local police department and saying, I'm the president, not the president of the United States, like, I'm the general of the United States military from 6 years ago who technically should have been killed. And this is like an ancient princess from like I don't know, the Babylonian Empire, who's come back today to warn us about an ancient Babylonian king, Gilgamesh, who's come from like the ancient past and is going to conquer the world with technology the world's never seen before. It would sound utter madness. See her? She's from our past, like thousands of years. And her evil uncle, he's come here from the past in our timeline just to kill us all. Listen, I've got friends all across the galaxy. Just let me contact them and they'll... You're out of your mind, bud. Well, it's your lucky day, Captain. According to the Commissar, People's Alliance has bigger concerns than chasing down a village drunk's delusions. I'm gonna have to let you go this time. Better not see your sobby mug here again in this town. Get out of here. It's like, I think it's one of those situations where they don't have the manpower, they don't have a prison, they don't have the finances, and it's like, all right, well, we're probably not dangerous, so just don't cause trouble. All right, so we got a new lore. So it's... Okay, so the new empire ruled over a galaxy of 500 years following the collapse of the Holy Revian Empire, largely continuing the traditions of the Revians. Despite the relocation from capital of Revia Prime to New Eden, a new empire was an aristocratic monarchy with the nobility ruled over the peasantry merely via the virtue of their birth. The communist revolution movement, called Compact, eventually toppled the monarchy and established a new government, the People's Alliance Pact. However, the revolution proved to be bloody, and the madwoman Alicia Ashada impersonated Venusaur Arcadius following his death to lead Pact in an invasion of the Neutral Rim territories. Holy Revian Empire, an ancient all-powerful civilization from which all modern technology derives, the Holy Revian Empire ruled for the galaxy for countless millennia under an iron fist, as the nobility monopolized the Empire's powerful technology to rule over the masses. However, the royal court eventually succumbed to corruption, internal strife, overextended beyond its capacity. The Revian Empire collapsed, power transferred from Revian Prime to New Eden, which continued Revia's traditions, and then they became the Pact. So, ironically, that probably means that Crow is going to go after Pact first, because he's going to see them as pretenders on his throne. Unsurprisingly, he didn't believe me.
そうか。
Somehow, I get the feeling not many other people will either.
どうする?
But I think there's someone who will. Asaga. How are we gonna get there, though? Oh, did we steal a cargo ship? Or we snuck aboard one? Oh, the animation quality is pretty good. I remember 3 had some good animation too. Have arranged charter on the ore freighter to Revia Prime. Can't say much about the passenger comfort, but it'll get us there well enough. Aw, look at that pose. That was Sola. It's been 6 years since I've been on the ship. Not quite a return I had in mind. How are you doing, Sola?
そう。
Like that phrase is just, so. Even with that said, Sola seems tired. Maybe we should both get some shut-eye? About what happened on Tidaria. Okay, so some of her lines aren't going to be voiced here. Interesting. I think the Fallen have pursued me all this time to this timeline. I know not how they got here, nor their intentions, but I know neither will be honorable. Well, I mean, more about what happened before that. I don't know what's ahead, but I do know that if we're going to stop Crow Harbor, we need to work together. I know the last couple of years haven't been so great, things were hard, and I know we've had some low points. But now we're actually off that rock. I want to say, let's try not to be awkward around each other, or we need to stay focused on our mission. What is this implying? I don't even know. Like, did we have something going on? Did we not? I don't know. What is this anyway? Oh yeah, it's the mission. Talk to Sola. Yeah, okay, I'm working on it. Let's try not to be awkward around each other. I know I didn't live up to your expectations. Didn't live up to anybody's expectations. I'm a nobody now. A drunk who's worked at the dead-end job for the past 6 years. God, it feels a little familiar. Didn't mean to chase you away. I know you didn't really hold me in the highest esteem after all that's happened while we were in exile, and I know I let you down more times than once. I don't know what to say, but let's try to be like before, back when we were on the Sunrider. Am I asking for too much?
いや
That's not really that assuring at all, Sola, but it's not like I've done much to deserve your trust. Also, need we remember, she's never been much for words. She's always been a very stoic person. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Sola? Oh. Well, it's probably for the best. Wait a minute, she fell asleep? Yeah, I thought I was having a real heart-to-heart conversation. I've been through a lot, she should get some rest too. Oh, what now? I know, I'm sorry. Try to attack?
堕落者の援軍
Come on, let's get to the bridge and find out. It implies if it is them, then it implies that they're tracking her. Has nothing to do. I thought it was probably to do with the Seraph because it was like an ancient rider, which by the way was super awesome. It had a sniper rifle that could take out capital ships. It was amazing. It was probably one of like on the battlefield. She was probably my favorite character because like that sniper was just so cool, and it was so nice being able to like tactically take out like the most critical threats before they could engage. Which was very nice. So I'm kind of sad that's gone. So I thought they tracked her through that because that ancient technology makes sense. But if they're still tracking us, then they might be tracking her blood, her DNA. And that means that we can't escape them unless we were to like part ways, and then she'd just be left alone, which we're not going to let happen. Come on, let's get to the bridge and find out. Loading? Is it going to do a battle sequence? Okay. Or it's gonna crash. Interesting. I've never seen a loading screen before. Okay. What? The bridge is completely empty. All the escape pods are missing. The whole crew bailed on us while we were sleeping.
複数の不明機が接近中
Right. Flag?
データベースにあるサインと合致していない海賊通信が来ている
Great. It's you!
映ってなくね誰だよこんな高さの
You know what? She was literally like the devil in the first games. We kind of saw a source of redemption in her in the third game. Now she's funny. Okay. There she is.
銀河の恐怖宇宙最強海賊とはこの俺コセットコスモス様のことだ
So her
お
story.
となしくエンジンを停止して積み荷をよこせ
So her story is that she's from the slums in Onges. Like she basically watched like the worst things happen. She's very small because she was so poorly malnourished and so like dancing on the brink of starvation. She's like she's underdeveloped basically. But she was driven to rebellion / piracy in the name of just destroying anything that the rich and powerful have because of how much they just ignored the people like her and her family. So she became so jaded and bittered. She basically went on a like warpath where she just wanted anarchy, pure anarchy. She's an anarchist. Wait, cassette?
なねシールズなんでまだ生きてんだ
You're supposed to be dead. Yeah, so that was actually one of the things. So okay, that's making me wonder. Because technically what would happen is you would have a confrontation with her because she was kind of a consistent antagonist throughout the first two games. And in the third game, you'd have a major confrontation with her where she was inadvertently being like manipulated to working for the interests of like the pact who would have destroyed her. And you defeated her, but if you had held onto a powerful item that you could inherit in the first game called the Wish-All, which normally could like grant you like power or give you like an extra charge or give you like things. So if you held onto it, and you also got an option to sell it for a lot of resources. If you chose not to sell it, you could use it to save her life and she would become a part of your crew. I remember I did that. So I don't know. It's acting as if they're trying to make it so that not either way it works. Either you saved her, but you think she was destroyed in the battle after when the Sunrider blew up, or she died because of you, and then she suddenly is still here.
死人でも何でも構わん積み荷は俺のもんだ
I'd be like, you can have it. I just need to get to Revia Prime. For some reason, I could have sworn this little girl died 6 years ago, but all of a sudden, I'm not really sure. I gotta stop drinking so much. There's nothing valuable on board, Cassette, just me and Sola.
そりゃちょうどいい。何年も前のあれ、きっちりと返さねえとな。
I saved your life!
やれ
Gosh darn it, Cassette.
海賊船の兵器から高エネルギー反応。
Send a distress signal to Revere Prime and hang on tight. I'm gonna try shaking him. Player phase. Here we go. So, this is a tutorial, I'm guessing. It's been a while since I've captained a ship. I'm gonna need a refresher on how all this works. I can move around the camera by using... Break the shatter of the fourth wall! I can move around the camera by using the arrow keys or by holding the middle mouse button, page up and down buttons, or the mouse wheel to zoom the camera in and out. I can select a unit by clicking on it in the map or its portrait on the map or its portrait on the side screen. Double clicking on the unit's icon will center the camera on it. Alright, so I can go, whoop, there we go. Once I selected a unit, I can order it to power its engines, move to a new position, or use its weapons to attack an enemy. The Ore Freighter doesn't stand a chance against those pirates in a fight. I should move it away from the pirates. Select the Ore Freighter and left click on the move command. Alternatively, I can left click the unit a second time, press the circle icon at the end of its move path, or the zero numpad. The unit's move range will be displayed once you select the move command. The move range is limited by the unit's EN, or energy. Both moving and attacking uses EN, so if you want to attack, you should reserve some EN. So yeah, you can either use all of your energy to move, or you can use some of it, or you can even use none of it and focus your fire. Very, very cool. It's actually funny, if you play tabletop RPGs, when this came out, I was playing D&D, which has like movement and actions, like they were two separate things, and you could technically combine them, but you have to go like, oh, you're doing a dash or something. But this reminds me a lot more of Pathfinder, which is like, hey, you have a certain number of actions, you choose how to use them. You can rotate the ship's facing direction after you move, but doing so costs EN. If you want to just maintain your current direction, hold shift and left click. Interesting. So that's a new feature. So they have headings. That's cool. Oh, that's definitely her same one. In the last game, you were just an icon on a map, and there was no heading. It was basically like just a piece on the board, and you could move it anywhere you wanted and fire any direction you wanted. The heading only mattered for, like, it didn't even matter. Like, certain weapons just had a certain, like, range for, like, when he did the big beam or something. Okay, so they're coming heading down here. We need to move away. Man, this map is huge. Okay, so move. Oh yeah, our heading is here. Okay, and then I can rotate at the end if I have extra energy. So that I should save some energy next time to do a full pan this way. But it's also like, it's not bad because they're gonna have to pan to face me now, so that's probably pretty good. All right, I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I like the detail they're going to be having in this. Is very cool. Oh, jeez. Oh, we're in range of their missiles. Oh, their missiles. That's so cool. They launch their missiles. They have a heading. And once they have a heading, you can try and evade them because see, the missiles are moving. So we have to get out of that range as quickly as possible. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's very neat. I am very much a fan of that. Oh, the missiles, they can home. Oh, that's really not good. Oh no. So I'm not sure what this circle here on the map is, but I keep thinking I'm just gonna have to get far enough away. I hope so, because if not, I'm in trouble. The unit is on course to retreat from battle, change its heading, or would incur an EN penalty by performing evasive maneuvers. I want to retreat though, right? So I might have made a mistake here. I'm not sure why I can't retreat, but apparently I can't. Well, I might die here. I might have to do this again. You know, I thought the whole point was to get away, not to, I don't know, just run to the end of the barrier and just sit here. Well, that's annoying. I would have thought that was a victory condition. I know. Am I supposed to just like dance around until I can escape? Kind of a situation, maybe. Everything in space retains its movement after moving. Okay, so I should have gone to the circle. Gosh darn it. I'm so dumb. All right. Everything in space retains its momentum after moving. Once you have used your unit's engine to move in a particular direction, the unit will retain its current heading, and you must expend energy, additional EN to change its heading. If you do not move a unit in a turn, then the unit will continue to drift along its current heading when you end your turn. If you use momentum cleverly, you can move without expending EN, allowing you to fire your weapon several times in a single turn. I love it. That's so cool. And the arrow shows you how much your drift will be, which is what the drift button's all about. It's about saying, hey, I'm not going to commit any energy to moving. Let my shift drift to where it's going to end up, and then I want to use my energy. On the flip side, making new moves will increase your unit's evasion. Your unit's evasion is indicated by the blue bar on the right side of your unit's HP and EN gauge. You should pay attention to the direction of your unit as well. Some weapons can only be fired in certain directions. Not only that, but units have armor of varying degrees on the front, rear, and sides. The angle at which you face your enemies can be a matter of victory or defeat. Most units are unarmored in the rear. Make sure that you never allow the enemy to hit you in the rear while always aiming to hit the baddies down the tailpipe. Once you finish commanding your units, deselect everything by right-clicking and press hold to end turn. All right. Here they come. Ah, these pirates are all over us.
今だ。エンジンを狙え。でも艦隊は壊すな。俺が乗り込んでこの手で奴をぶった切ってやる。
Cassette, I tried to show you mercy. You're really persistent, aren't you, Cassette?
あの時あんたにガキ呼ばわりされてからこの日をどれほど待ち望んでいたか。待ってろよシールズ。手足一本ずつバラバラにしてやる。あるいはそのお友達を先にやっちまって
I forgot how twisted she actually is.
堪能するのも悪くないかもしれん。
She's yandere. Definitely yandere. I don't know about yandere, dude. I think she's psychotic.
レーザー発射。
Oh, Asaga!
飛行隊参上。
Yeah!
お前は
The
正義の味
hero
方。
of justice.
その声。
Yeah.
まさか。
Yeah. Ah, Asaga, it's me.
正義のヒーローが喋ってるのをのんきに黙って見てる悪党がどこにいる。リュービア女王陛下のご降臨だぜ、野郎ども。
If you have that much
あ
money,
の女をやっつけたやつに1万クレジットをやろう。
if she has that much money to sling around, doesn't that mean she's just as evil as the people she says that she hates?
まずあのガキンチョをなんとかしないといけないみたいだね。艦長さん、やっちゃいましょう。
Your voice actor, who is that? Sounds familiar for some reason. Alright. Hey, Captain. Looks like you could use a little help right now. Oh, look at your smug little face. Each weapon has its own firing arc. You've got to make sure you're facing the right direction if you want to lay a hurt on the baddie. Weapons come in a handful of varieties. Here's the general idea. Assault guns, basically the guns that spam bullets like daka 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 daka. Very orcish. They don't deal much damage, and their accuracy is pretty low, but they fire a lot of shots, meaning that if some shots miss, others will still hit. Kinetic guns are big cannons that don't fire many shots but deal a ton of damage. Laser cannons deal a ton of damage, and they're very accurate, but they eat up the most energy, and their firing arcs are very narrow. It's the ideal weapon to snipe out baddies from a distance. Just remember that shields will nullify laser damage. Pulse guns are basically assault guns that shoot lasers instead. They deal more damage than assault guns and are more accurate, but use more EN and can be nullified by shields. Missiles deal a lot of damage and never miss, but are limited by ammo. Not only that, they take time to reach their target and can be shot down while en route. Assault guns are especially effective at destroying missiles. Torpedoes only fire a single shot, but deal a devastating amount of damage. Like missiles, they can be shot down while in transit to the target and are limited by ammo. If a baddie fires off a missile or a torpedo at you, make sure you manually blast the attack with your assault gun before it hits you. Some units like me are capable of performing melee attacks. Melee attacks can only be performed at close range, but they hit for a lot of damage. After performing a melee attack, the attacker will end up on the opposite side of the target. Keep in mind, melee attacks can only be used on riders. Okay, so this game, because melee you could use on ships, but now you can only use melee on riders, but that's cool that you become on the opposite side of them. So like you attack through them, and then you're behind them. So if you plan your energy reserves properly, you could do a melee attack, go through the enemy, and then turn around and fire a cannon like at their back where their weakest armor is. Or you'd follow through with an attack on a neighboring unit. Oh, they really ramped up the strategy of it all so far. That's really cool. Use the attack first. Select one of your units, then select the weapon button in the action menu. Then left click on the baddie you want to attack, selecting your unit, clicking the baddie, then clicking on the weapon button also works. Or you can just use a hotkey. As you whack your baddies, draw aggro from them. You can see how much aggro units drawing by the red bars on the top left of the unit's HP bar. The higher units aggro, the more likely the baddies will aim for it. That's also a cool mechanic they didn't have before. That just about covers it for the attackers. Let's get these pirates, Captain. All right, we are a lot better off now. Oh, she's like right here too. Okay, so I want to see. We have this. I'm guessing it could be used against the missiles. All right, maybe we should start with Asaga. Okay. Awaken. Restores the yen for 100 HP. Oh, yeah, so you take damage, but you can get energy. Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so I do have assault cannons. That's good to know. Ah, she missed. There we go. Okay. Feeling pretty good now. Nice. That makes sense. You can almost use missiles and torpedoes as a way to just draw aggro. Oh! Yep. So like the attack line merged with that line. That looks like Chigara's though. Isn't that what Chigara's was? Hallelujah. Whew, is it just weird that whole incident feel kind of like deja vu? Yeah, it did. It felt like the last tutorial, because that was one of the first antagonists in the first game as well. Thanks for the rescue. Requesting permission to dock with the Star Palace. It's good to see you again, Saga. Oh, Saga. She absolutely has a horrific crush on us, or did at least. Victory! All right, so there's repair costs and reward for what we attack. And I'm guessing, like, if you actually destroy stuff, you get more rewards. All right, invoiced. Makes sense. Ooh, look at that. Dang, Star Palace. Looks freaking cool. Yahoo! All right, love it. But I think we're actually gonna have to end things there. That's a bit of a longer episode. I'm gonna cut out some of the stuff, but since it was the tutorial, I kind of am letting, like, I'm gonna let that shine a bit. From here on out, when it comes to the combats, I'm probably gonna just do mostly highlights where I will showcase maybe interesting points where we learn something or try a new weapon, or like climactic points in the battle where something exciting happens. But mostly, it just takes a lot of time. And that's okay, but I don't want it to eat into the story. But that was essentially the end of the prologue. This is a good time to be doing that so we can dive into the story full bore. But for now, we can just be happy seeing Asaga again. Here we are. Interesting. Very interesting. Very excited though. The fact that they've leaned into the strategy of the combat is very exciting to me. It's it shows a lot of thought and care that went into this, where they weren't just building off of the same thing they had. They basically had the engine and had art, all of the setup for it, but they went ahead and improved it even further in this game, where they're taking more things into account. They're allowing things to be more dynamic, giving way for more potential strategy. I'm very excited to see how the gameplay plays out alone. And then the story, very cool to see. I want to see how this plans out. So yeah, awesome. Please, if you haven't already, show your support for Love and Space. They make some great content. If you like what you see and you haven't played the series, please make sure you do. I already told a lot of the story that happened, but there's still so much to explore and so many fun, interesting moments and characters that you can meet before we get reintroduced to them in this plotline. So please let me know what you think of that, and I hope you go and check it out if you haven't. The other thing to remember, of course, is this that they have other games as well. So Love and Space, they have 2 management games, which are, so they're not strategy. Well, they kind of are strategy, but it's about time management. The first was Sunrider Academy, which basically takes the characters from this series, but sets them in a high school / college, because they technically should be 18 or older for it. Like where you're on Sarah, where there was no war, but instead you're all going to school together. And it's about you managing these misfits who are all trying to succeed in their clubs, but there's not really a whole lot of club to club. So they just need somebody to help their clubs grow so they can become actualized. But it's very high school, slice of lifey, very fun, and it's very much a dating sim. Also as an 18 plus patch you can install. That game I think is on Steam for like $5 or something. It's pretty cheap, pretty solid story. I played it on my own because I didn't think it would be a good fit for the channel at the time. Hindsight, probably would have been a good one to cover on the channel at some point, but that's okay. The other one they did is I think a Star Bomb, which is basically another management sim, but instead you are running idols. So you have a cast of idols who have very similar appearances and sometimes mannerisms to characters in the Sunrider series, but I don't think that was it's not specifically it's supposed to be analogous. They're supposed to be their own characters, but the character designs are very, very similar. When it comes to personality and different type, the different characters as they're played out. But I've heard a good thing, so I want to try that one at some point. And I'm guessing they've got more projects in the pipeline, but I haven't heard anything or seen any updates, so I'd be curious to look into it. But yeah, really fun. It's very surreal after so many years to finally be back to this series. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited to see where it plays out. And yeah, we'll just have to see where we go. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel, for being a part of this wonderful journey. Especially the patrons and members for your support. It means the world to me. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you enjoy. I hope you're looking forward to this series because it's been on my back burner for a long time. And that's kind of what these Wednesdays are going to become, is that it's where I take care of the backlog, where I go for the stuff that I feel like hasn't gotten the TLC or stuff I always intended to get back to and just never found the time to yet. I'm going to play a lot of catch up in these Wednesdays, so let's jump right into it. But that's all for now, so thank you so much, and until the next video you're watching me, I see me in next. I'll see you there.